I've been here in the Valley for about 16 years, and one of my all-time favorite people that I've ever had the pleasure to meet was Waylon Jennings. And I know a lot of you are familiar with Waylon and his music and the fact that he started this whole outlaw culture. He was truly, you know, every time I think of that guy, I just get this grin on my face. And I don't know if any of you had the chance to ever meet him or see him perform, but he was one of a kind. That is for sure. You may not know he has some pretty strong ties, had some pretty strong ties here to Arizona. Not only did he spend his early years performing in local clubs, but he also spent his last years here as well after succumbing to complications from diabetes, a disease that affects about 26 million Americans. You may not know, and I actually did not know this, which surprised me, but Waylon's memory is now intrinsically entwined with TGen. During a local concert by Waylon's son, Shooter Jennings, Shooter and his mother, Jessie Coulter, Waylon's widow, met with a TGen Foundation staff member and a huge fan of Waylon's, Dean Ballard, who is the Assistant Director of Development over at TGen, and they became very familiar with TGen's diabetes research and offered to help as a result of everything that Waylon had gone through, and they helped create the Waylon Jennings Fund for Diabetes Research. For all that she has done for that arm of TGen, please help me just recognize Jessie Coulter, who is here in the audience. She is also fabulous. Jessie, can you stand? I know she is not on tap to perform here this afternoon, but again, if you ever have the chance to see Jessie in concert, I encourage you to go. But this story continues. So during the course of creating Waylon's Fund, Jessie and Waylon's longtime office manager and their very dear friend, Nikki Mitchell, also became very familiar with the work of TGen. Now, Nikki has her own compelling story, and you'll hear it in just a little bit. She was diagnosed in 2010 with pancreatic cancer, and she also wanted to help, and she has helped in a slightly different way. Her newfound commitment to TGen resulted this past September in a great concert that they decided to call Full Moon, Full Life. And they did this just south of Nashville in a place called Normandy, Tennessee, and it benefited TGen's pancreatic research, or cancer research. It featured a ton of different performers, including country star Jamie Johnson. Now, it's in Normandy where Nikki continues her longtime management of Waylon's music, as well as Jessie's. Any business having to do with Waylon or Shooter or Jessie all goes through Nikki Mitchell. And it is in Normandy that Nikki is making her personal stand against pancreatic cancer. She has undergone surgery, she's undergone chemotherapy, she's had a rough week, and at one point we didn't know if she'd be able to come and attend the event, but she is here. And again, she is truly putting her face on the fact that, listen, you can get through this, and not only that, you can inspire thousands of people in the process. She is a world record-breaking pilot, a community organizer, and a philanthropist, and obviously you can add determined cancer fighter to that list. Please welcome Nikki Mitchell.
Great, Alyssa. I'll try to talk. I don't know about you, Howard, but all this food, I have been eating like a Shetland pony since I've been here. As we know, when someone is diagnosed with cancer, it does not just affect the person with cancer, but it affects those they love and the ones that love them back. At this time, I would like to say a public thank you to, you've heard one woman, Alyssa, and Jessie and Rhonda. They have stood by me, and they are the very reason I'm here to be able to smile and talk, and thank you so much. Rhonda, you don't start crying. Anyway, it was 2 years ago after Thanksgiving, and I was backing out of the driveway. I looked up in the mirror, and I saw my eyes were yellow, and then the next day my face turned yellow, and I was jaundiced. I went in to check and see if there was something wrong with my gallbladder, and of course, I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I was given 3 to 6 months to live. It's been 2 years, and so And anyway, along the way, I did learn the importance of being very proactive. I was told several different scenarios when I was in Nashville what to do. I knew what my body could take, what it couldn't take, so I opted to call Maureen Rafferty, my very dear friend, and said, we have got to find, this is operable right now, and we have got to find the best surgeon, the best hospital, and get this thing out, and then I'll deal with the rest later. And I'm glad I did. I went to Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Edel was my surgeon, and I really feel like that was one of the best steps I made. Other than, along the way, Jessie, through our relationship with Wayland's Diabetic Fund, she kept bringing up TGen. So finally, I came to Arizona, and I met everyone at TGen, not everyone yet, but just I've met several people at TGen, and started a relationship. And I have to say that in this room with TGen, there is the power that can come forth from this room is just amazing. I mean, I can hardly talk about it. I'm almost emotional because I can, when I went to TGen, when I left there, I felt like I had leaned into what the future is all about, early detection. These people are working 24/7, and I didn't feel like I heard. I felt like a person. And I don't know how they do that, but they do that. And the other day, I was in a meeting. Dr. Von Hoff was there. He said something, and probably it just came out of his mouth and didn't think twice about it, but I have hung my hat on that. And he said, things are not changing daily, they are changing hourly. And I'm telling you, someone in my position, that is what you want to hang your hat on. That is the horn you want to grab. That is the grip that you want to grab that baton and start racing. This is not a fight, it's a race. It's going to happen, and people like him are going to change that, and I know that. And so the ending is going to be bright. It is going to be there. And thank all of you in this room for being a part of that, because it is going to happen. I know it is. And so I plan to go across that line, and I plan to do it with those that I love and those that love me back. Thank you.
Wow, Nikki.